Now we will create a Flask app of our face swap application. So here you can see that I have created a folder named face swap app and I have created certain files in it. Let me show you all the files one by one and what they do. So initially you can see here that I have opened the config.py file. So in config.py file we define the configuration. So here you can see that I have imported class config object and I have passed the secret key as PyAnalytics. You can change it to anything that you want. We will also set the session cookie secure as true and default theme as none. And for the development config class, we will set debug equal to true. Now let us see the app.py file. So this is the app.py file, which is the main file which will run the app. So here you can see that it is importing app from app, and whenever main is encountered, app will be run using the app.run command. Other than this, here we can see the init.py file in the app folder. So init.py file is the initializer. Here you can see that we are importing Flask from Flask and we are passing the name of the app. Similarly, we are calling the config file as we have already defined that in the config.py, and we are calling the development config from that. And after that we are importing views from app. So let us see the views.py file. So this is the views.py file. This is the important file where all our code will be stored. The code for the application that we have already created, the code for the project. So let's see what all it contains. So initially we will import all the required libraries. As you can see here, we are importing Flask. We are importing request and render templates URL from Flask. We are also importing computer vision, NumPy, image, string, random, OS and dlib. So after that we will add the paths to the configuration. So here you can see that we are using the initial file uploads path and passing the app static uploads. That is the app folder static, and in the static folder there is an upload folder. So we are passing that path here. After that we are saving our pre-trained model, as I have shown you in Colab code, our pre-trained .dat model which we downloaded from GitHub, and storing it into a variable named shape predictor face landmarks. Now we will repeat the same exact code as we did in the Google Colab. Here you can see that we are extracting the index of the NumPy array. We are getting an image of the that we will be working on, image.open, image.resize. Then we are extracting the index of the image. So an app runs by two methods, get and post. So get is initialized in the first phase. So get will get to, it will load the index page, and as soon as we click any button or we do any action on the home page, it will activate the post method. So in the get method we have set index.html, which is the main file, the home page, and in the post method you can see that we are uploading images that we want to swap faces of, and exactly same code that we have done in the Google Colab. So we are generating a unique name to save the images. After that we are saving the images. We are using the dlib library to get the frontal face. Then we will do the triangulation as we have already did in. You have to paste that exact same code from your Google Colab in this views.py file. This views.py file is opened in a code editor because it is a Python script. You can use any code editor. I am currently working on Atom. Here you can see that it is the exact same code as we have did in Google Colab. We are founding the bounding rectangle, we are founding the landmarks point, we are creating the triangle list as I have already shown you in the Google Colab. So let's skip this. You can copy that code, exactly same code here. This is the exact same code as we have did in the Google Colab. So in the end, after all this code we copied from there, we'll save the result into initial file upload path as we have already defined above, and we will return the render template index.html. After that, we have called the main function, the app.run, which will run the app. Now let's see how we design the front end of this app, how this app will look. So for that, we need to go to the templates folder, and in the templates folder, I have defined a file index.html. So in order to understand this index.html file, you should have a basic understanding of CSS and HTML. So CSS and HTML are used to define the front end of any application. CSS is used for styling and HTML is used for designing the divisions, containers, etc. So here you can see that I have used materialize.css, which is already stored in static folder. In the static folder, you can see that we have CSS folder, which contains materialize.css and materialize.min.css. In the dat folder, we are storing our already trained model that we downloaded from the internet. In the images, we have stored the white background image that will be used as a background image for our application. We are also using JavaScript, so we have stored materialize.js and materialize.min.js here. And similarly, the uploads, where the images will be uploaded. So let's get back to this index.html file and let me show you how I designed it. So initially I made a container which will show face swap app and made by PyAnalytics. So this is our first division. After this division, I have created two containers which will upload the source image. I have given a browse button which will browse for the source image, and we will similarly upload the destination image using the browse button for that also. After doing that, we just need to click a swap button, as you can see here in the fourth division, and this will swap the images from the destination, the source. In the end, you can see that I have written some scripts. So these scripts will work in running the above written commands. So whenever we click on browse or whenever we click on swap, what should happen? These scripts will tell them. So this is the index.html file. It is the most important file as it will design the front end of our app. So if you know HTML and CSS well, you can design your own front end. Now let's move forward and let me show you some of the other important files. So this is the proc file. A proc file is generally important when we deploy the app. So a proc file, as you can see here, it contains web, which will tell the deployment app that this is a web app. And similarly, Gunigon will run the app from app. And here you can see that we have set the timeout as 60. So it will be 60 seconds. It will wait for 60 seconds after we click any button for timeout. Other than that, I have also created a README file. This contains all the steps how you can run this app. We'll see that later. And the most important file, that is requirements.txt. So requirements.txt file is the most important because it contains all the requirements, all the dependencies of our project. So what do we mean by dependencies or requirements of our project? So here you can see that it is showing us that dlib equal to 19.21.1. So this is the version of the dlib. Similarly, NumPy, OpenCV, Flask. So what requirements.txt does? It creates a requirement.txt file which contains the library names with their version that are used to run this app. So in case you don't know what all libraries and versions you are using, you can create this requirement file on your own. So let me show you how you can create this requirements file on your own. But for that, you need to copy the path of this folder where your app is stored. and open the Anaconda command prompt. Let me show you how to do that. You just need to copy the path of the folder and open Anaconda command prompt. So this is my Anaconda prompt. I have copied the path of the folder where I have saved my project. Let me move to that path for using cd, that is change directory, and copy the path here. So I've got inside that folder where my app is stored. Now we will use the command pip reqs. So to run this command, you first need to install pip reqs on your system. And if you don't have that pre-installed in a system, you can install it using pip install pip reqs. So what this will do, this will install this pip reqs library on your system. So as I have already installed it on my system, it's showing me requirement already satisfied. Now we will make that requirements file using the pip reqs file. So pip reqs. So this command will create a requirements file in my folder which will contain the requirements that is all the libraries that are required to run this project. So I have already shown you that I have created that file and it contains all the libraries that are required for my app. So it's giving me a warning that the file is already existing. Next, so in order to install all the dependencies, in order to install all the libraries that we will use to create this app, to run this app, we need to install all the libraries that are required in this, that are defined in this requirements.txt file. So let me show you how you can do that. So for that, you just need to run a command pip install -r requirements.txt. So what this will do, this will install all the requirements that are there mentioned in your requirements.txt file. Here you can see that it is downloading the NumPy. Similarly, all the other libraries that are required. It can take some time. If you don't have these libraries already installed in a system, it will take some time. So here you can see that all the libraries that were required and were mentioned in requirements.txt file, all of them are downloaded here. So now we just need to run our app, and for running our app we will use the command. We first need to move to this folder, so we are already in this folder. Now we need to run our app, which is with the name of app.py. So we need to run the command python space app.py. So here you can see that it is running on this server, this URL. So let's copy this URL and open it in our browser and see if it works. So here you can see that I have copied that URL in my browser, and this is my app as we have created. Now let's check if it's working or not. So we will browse some images. I've already stored it in the sample image. So this is the source image, say, and we will also browse the destination image. And let's swap these images. So here you can see that our app is working correctly and it's working fine. So with this, we came to an end of this project. You can design your own front end as I have shown you in the index.html file. Also, you can use different images for face swapping. Thank you.